Good morning, students. Welcome to today's class. Hope you all are fine. As you know that we have finished our half-yearly syllabus. The three chapters are there: Introduction to Chemistry, Element, Compound and Mixture, and Matter. These three chapters are there in half-yearly syllabus, and we have completed this. Now we will be doing this revision of these chapters. So in few parts or in few uh, we can say in few parts we maybe you are having some doubt. So those parts which are very important, and these parts, these topics, again I will be discussing. Okay, and if you have any doubt in any other part and all, any other topic, then as you are doing through email, you can uh, tell me to you can tell this, then I will be doing that in our next class. Okay, this will be helpful to you and me as well, because then I can know very well that in which parts you are having doubt. So in this manner we can do our revision work. So today I will be doing atom and molecule. Maybe in this part you are having some doubt. So this again we are going to discuss. So let us do that. Atoms and molecules. So atom and molecules, any matter, you know what is matter. Matter is a substance, is something which have some mass and which occupy some space, and at the same time we can uh, feel it through our senses. Okay, we can touch it, we can feel that. So if all these characteristics are there in any substance, then that substance we can call as matter. So matter must have some mass. So which characters must be there, must be present in matter? It must have some mass, number one. Number two, it must occupy some space. Okay, wherever we are keeping the matter, it must occupy some space. And number three, we can touch it or we can feel it with our senses. Okay, so these three characteristics are there in a matter. Suppose you can see, suppose this is the duster. If I keep it here or if I keep it in my hand, it you can understand very well that matter is this duster is having some mass, must be having some mass. And if I keep it here on the table, then it must occupy some space. Like that, if I place it in this manner, let me draw. So this space it's occupying. Okay, and this will be of a three-dimensional space, like this. Okay, so this is the space occupied by the duster, and we can you can understand very easily that I can touch it, I can feel this. So all these three characteristics are fulfilling by this matter, by this duster, so it can be considered as a matter. So in this manner, all the substances which are fulfilling these three characteristics, those substances, those substances or those things we can call as matter. Now if we look properly in the matter, suppose if we take a piece of chalk. Okay, this is a piece of chalk, suppose. Okay, now if we break it from the middle, we will be getting to part. Again if we break it, then we will be getting a smaller part of it. And in this manner, if we go on this process, if we continue this process, then after some time we will be getting a very small part of it which cannot be broken again, okay, because it is too small to break. So this is the smallest particle of the chalk which can be considered as atom. Okay, atom is the smallest particle of any matter which must possess all the properties of that matter. That means all the properties of the chalk which we are getting in this bigger pieces, that will be there intact in the smallest particle also. Okay, so the atom of the chalk, or the smallest particle of the chalk, it must be showing all the properties of the bigger chalk. Okay, so this is the atom. Now if we now this atom cannot exist independently. Why? For that we have to know the difference between atom and molecule. So what is the difference between atom and molecule? Suppose if we take some common salt, okay, the salt or the table salt which we are having in our everyday life, in our daily life, that salt only we can call as common salt or table salt. The composition or the formula of this is NaCl, sodium chloride. You know, Na is sodium and Cl is chlorine, so this is called sodium chloride. Okay, now this common salt can be of a can have a bigger piece of it, or it may be in the dust form also, we can have that. So suppose we have taken a bigger piece of a lump of this common salt. Now if we break it the same manner, or if we just apply some pressure with our hand, then it will break and we will be getting this kind of particles. Okay, now each of these particles, all of these are NaCl. Okay, all these particles, all of these are NaCl, sodium chloride. Okay, this is also sodium chloride, this is also sodium chloride. So in this manner, the particles, all the particles which we are getting from the common salt, these are sodium chloride. Now this we will call as atom or molecule. Here this will be called as molecule, not atom. Okay, this is a compound. Sodium chloride is a compound and its smallest possible unit is called a molecule. Okay, because here we are getting two different kind of particles. One is sodium, another is chloride. Okay, so these two ions, this we will be getting in the ionic form. So sodium and chlorine, you can understand that these two are two separate or two different particles, but they will be getting together, they will be joined together with some force which is called electrostatic force of attraction. So through this attraction, through this attractive force, see, sodium is written as Na plus in this manner, and chloride is can be written as in this manner, Cl minus. So plus and minus, you know, this these two are two opposite charges, and opposite charges attract each other. So this attraction, this force of attraction, this is called electrostatic force of attraction, and through this they will be joined together to form the molecule of sodium chloride. Okay, now as sodium and chlorine, these two are two separate particles. We know their characteristics, their properties, their uh, everything, physical property, chemical property, everything are different. So these two are two separate substances, separate particles. That's why uh, when they will be joined together and form sodium chloride, NaCl, that will be called a molecule. So sodium and chlorine, these two are having their individual properties. Okay, sodium and chlorine both are, we cannot intake that. These are poisonous. Okay, sodium is the metal, and chlorine is the this is the non-metal, greenish yellow gas. In gaseous form we will be getting the chlorine, and sodium is the metal, is it's lighter than water. Okay, sodium is lighter than water and it is a soft metal. It is poisonous. Both are poisonous. Chlorine and sodium both are poisonous. But when they are, that means these are the properties of sodium and chloride. But when they are reacting together to form sodium chloride, NaCl, which can be consumed with our food. That means from this you can understand that they are having non-poisonous property. They can be, they are edible. They can be, we can have this with our food. So here you can see, you can understand that sodium and chlorine, they have lost their individual property when they are forming a compound called sodium chloride. So the properties of sodium chloride is, properties of the compound is totally different from the property of sodium and chlorine. So when they will be forming this sodium chloride, that particle we will be calling as molecule. Okay, and from the molecule, when we will be getting sodium and chlorine separated, if we apply, suppose this is the bond between them. Okay, this bond is not visible bond, but we can assume that there is a bond between them. Okay, because of the force of attraction, they have formed a bond between them. Now if we break this bond, then we will be getting sodium and chlorine separated. So separated particles, sodium Na plus and chloride Cl minus, we will be getting. So this is one particle and this is another particle without any bond between them. So these bonds, these individual particles, now we will be calling as atom of sodium, and this is atom of chlorine. But when they will be joined together with the chemical bond and form a compound NaCl, that will be called a molecule of sodium chloride. So this is the difference between atom and molecule. Here you can see this atom of chlorine and atom of sodium, they cannot exist independently, because in this manner Na plus, this is a charge, this is a charged particle, and chlorine is also a charged particle. So in this manner they cannot exist, and as these are not stable actually. This Na plus and Cl minus, these are unstable, and for that they cannot exist. So how they will attain stability? When they will react together to form sodium chloride, they will be having a they can attain stability, and that's why they will be forming the bond. So this is the reason of any chemical reaction to attain stability. The reactants will react and they will be forming the product. The product here which we are getting, that is sodium chloride, which is having some stability. These are more stable than that of the atoms, that of the singles Na plus and Cl minus. So NaCl, this is stable, and this is molecule of sodium chloride, and that's why it can exist it can exist independently. Okay, whereas the atom, they cannot exist independently because these are unstable. Okay, these are unstable, so they cannot exist independently. So this can be given as the difference between atom and molecule. But here some exceptions are there, which we will be getting for noble gas atoms. As when we will be discussing that, then at that point of time I will be telling why noble gas atom can be stable and why they can exist independently. So let us discuss some more example, then it will be more clear to you all. Suppose water, H2O. Okay, so if we draw oxygen, generally we denote as with this red color. So this is the oxygen atom, suppose, and these are two hydrogen atoms. Okay, so this is hydrogen, these two are hydrogen, and this is oxygen. They are bonded together with this bond. These are called chemical bond. Okay, now this is a single molecule of water. So in each and every water molecule we will be getting this one oxygen and two hydrogens. So if we take some water, if we take a drop of water, suppose, then in that drop we will be getting several this type of water molecule. Now all the water molecule contain this structure. So many of water molecule we can get. So suppose let us draw one more. This is oxygen and this two are hydrogen. So in this manner, many of this kind of water molecule we can get from a single drop of water. Now this is the molecule of water we are telling. So this water is having its individual properties. It is a liquid, it is colorless, and it can make soluble other substances. Like if we add salt in water, it will dissolve it. If we add sugar in water, it can dissolve the sugar. So these are the properties of water. Few properties of water we can say. Now there are hydrogen gas. Hydrogen is gas, we know, and oxygen is also a gas. It is also a gas. So from this you can understand that the constituent elements of water, that is hydrogen and oxygen, these two are in gaseous form. Normally these are in gaseous form, but when they are forming, they are bonded together in this manner with one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. They are forming some other substance which is having totally different properties of that hydrogen and oxygen. That means the property of water is totally different from that of hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, both are these two are gaseous and they cannot dissolve anything. though these are colorless. So when from this molecule of water, if we break this bond, and then from, let us consider a single water molecule. If we break this, then what thing we will be getting? We will be getting two this kind of black balls. Okay, this is hydrogen, this is also hydrogen, and one red ball we will be getting from a single water molecule. So this is oxygen, we know. So if we break a single water molecule, then we will be getting two black balls which are hydrogen and only one single red ball which is oxygen. So this, each of these particles, these are called atoms. Okay, so this is a molecule where the particles are bonded together with chemical bond, but when we are breaking the bonds, we are getting these particles separated, and now these are called atoms. Okay, now you can very easily understand that these particles cannot exist independently because they are not stable, these are unstable. Why these are unstable? As for now, as we have not read about atomic structure and all, which you are going to read in the higher class. Okay, so there you can understand this. You will be getting this properly, why these are called unstable and all. But as of now, you just this only you know that if all the substances, all the elements, they are having some uh, proper, or they are having some unique electronic configuration. Okay, electrons are there in the atoms, electrons are there, and the arrangement of electron is called electronic configuration. So this electronic configuration is different for each and every elements. Okay, and if this electronic configuration is proper, if it is stable or fulfilled, then the atom is stable, otherwise it is unstable. So for all the maximum of the elements, they are not having the stable electronic configuration, and to attain the stability, to attain the stable electronic configuration, they need to react with each other. Okay, or they may lose or gain some electrons and all. So there are different processes to attain the stability. Only noble gas atoms, that is, you know that which are the noble gas atoms: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These six are the noble gas atoms. They are only having stable electronic configuration. They are already uh, having a proper electronic arrangement to attain stability. Okay, so as they are already stable, that's why they will not react anymore, and that's why these atoms can exist independently. Okay, only noble gas atoms, they can exist independently because they are already stable. Okay, so class, today I am ending my class here only. Okay, next day we will continue this atom and difference between atom and molecule and all, with some more example we will be explaining. So till then, have a good day. Keep on reading, keep on studying properly, and be safe. Okay, be careful. Thank you.